Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, and welcome to Monday, meaning you know what time it is. Wayne Sharp Week, highlighting the knives are going to be in my pocket for the upcoming week. Now, before I get into this list, I also want to thank all my sponsors up here, DLT Trading, Mojave Outdoor, and White Mountain Knives. Give these retailers your business. Because of them, I'm able to do what I do. They've been a huge, massive help for a good portion of this year, and I'm very grateful for their support of my channel. And I have one other little confession to make. I've been feeling a little blah over the past week. Not health and happiness and all that stuff's all good. It's more along the lines of knife collecting and knife using and the whole EDC world. There hasn't been much to excite me lately, and that's been kind of sad. It's been a little depressing. You know, every once in a while, you know, there's certain models and knives coming out that just have you super excited. You're ready for them. You wait, you get them. You're all pumped up and good to go. There hasn't been much like that lately for me. So I've needed a little boost, and I've gotten that boost. One of them you're going to see in the video today, and later this week I have a couple other reviews of some knives that have really been just a pleasant surprise to me, have kind of rejuvenated that passion and love for knives. They can kind of, it gets a little dull sometimes, Sometimes you wake up and a knife is a knife is a knife. And then other times you get into it and you're like, you know what? This one did something for me. There's a couple knives like that coming later this week, and I can't wait to bring those to you guys. But until then, let's take a look at my weekly carry, and let's start off in the budget aspect, and this here is the Civivi Lazar. Now, this is one that I was super excited for. It was kind of like a late announcement in terms of, or at least as far as when I found out about it. This is another Elijah Isham design, kind of a little playoff, a bigger version, or, something along the lines of the McKenna that he designed a long time ago for Civivi. Obviously, this is radically different, but everyone wanted that bigger Elijah Isham front flipper in the Civivi lineup, and this was it. And after carrying it, reviewing it, I gotta say, I'm happy with it. I do like it. This trailing point blade here isn't my favorite blade shape. It makes the tip a little harder to do certain tasks with. Not the best knife for a draw cut or something like that. Usually you like to incorporate the tip. Helps really get that draw cut going. But in terms of overall EDC use and the stuff I would do on a daily basis with it, it's pretty sufficient enough. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. I really do like the action on this. It is a great front flipper. Elijah Isham is pretty notorious with really good ergos on a front flipper. He kind of knows where to put the lines and the curvatures, the angles, how it's going to feel and fit in your hand in regards to how well you can also work that front flipper. As you can see, reach around approved, and also just very smooth in general to operate without much thought or much effort. I'm flipping it, and it's no issue whatsoever. The clip on this guy is nice. It has well placement. And then you also have a steel of this 10CR15 COMOV, which from all of my research is kind of similar to VG10. Not, it works. I mean, this knife is not expensive. I want to say it was somewhere in the $50 or $60 range, which, again, $50 to $60 is a lot to some people, and it's, not so much to other people. In terms of what you're getting for this knife, though, it's reasonably priced, and I'm a little, can't remember the price of this knife right off the bat, but I want to say it was in the $50 area. Regardless, though, it is a good one. I do like it, and I will be carrying it this week. That is the Civivi Lazar. Now, next up here, we have a Kaiser budget knife that I wasn't expecting to like, and I'm starting to love. That's the Kaiser Roach. And I guess the best way to describe this thing to someone is, if I had to compare it to any other knife I have or have experienced, I would compare it to, like, the Microtech Stitch. And I know that sounds stupid and insane to some people, but in terms of ergos and size and blade, it really is kind of like a budget Microtech Stitch, only manual, and there's obviously no cutout. It's a pure flipper, but action is fantastic. Let me say that one more time. Action is fantastic. It is so good. One of the best Kaisers in terms of action I've ever experienced, especially just for a flipper. In terms of just like a primary flipper, this thing is amazing. It has a great blade, very smooth on the close, and ergos are also extremely solid. They're actually great as well. So they're really good. I won't say great. The only reason I won't say great is I wish the choil area here was brought back a little closer to the actual handle. So if you grip this really hard, you'll kind of feel the metal there in the choil. It's obviously not really chamfered. It's just kind of cut out there. So it doesn't, I mean, it's not a hot spot. I would still use it like this all day. But it could be a little better. It could be just a little better if that choil was brought back to the handle. This is also an excellent knife for gloves if you're wearing gloves with that huge finger choil and just a wide area to grip all over the knife. You can really kind of move your hand back and get a lot more length on that blade to, you know, reach any other cutting you may be doing. So it really is a super solid knife. And I want to say it's coming in the $60 area, maybe $59 or $69, something like that. So super solid price, very nice micarta, nice pocket clip, deep carry, a little different run-of-the-mill pocket clip than you see on other Kaiser budget knives. So I like this one a lot. It actually has a little roach on the clip, which is kind of cool. It's very quiet. It's not something that sticks out and you really notice, so I don't mind it being there. It's kind of neat, especially considering the name of it, of course. Designed by Matt Degnan. Really unique design. One that just looking at online, it didn't do anything for me. I wasn't very excited about it. The moment I got it in hand and started fidgeting with it and using it, yeah, I became a very big fan of this knife. Very, very good one. This is a Mojave Outdoor exclusive. You can find it at Mojave Outdoor and use the code Wayne's World to get 10% off your purchase of this knife or any knife at Mojave Outdoor. A great retailer. I'm going to link all the retailers below in this video for you guys to check out, along with the codes as a reminder of what you need to type in if you want to get the discounts if you find something you like. So this is the Kaiser Roach. It will also be in the pocket this week. Now we're going to get into a little more premium portion of the carry, and an oldie but really, really goodie. Not super oldie, but still a really goodie. This is the Wee Black Void Opus, designed from Justin Lundquist. Now this is the original version that has a chisel grind. Some people just really can't get past the fact that the chisel grind makes the blade look off-centered, but it's not off-centered. This blade is perfectly centered, and it is fantastic. I always forget that this is one of maybe a handful of knives to where if I'm not carrying it, I honestly forget how much I like it every single time, because the ergos shouldn't be as good as they are, but they fit so well in your hand. The liner lock access is very easy. Action is fantastic. It is, of course, reach around approved, and it works really well. This jimping on this front flipper area is on point. So nice and crisp. Razor sharp blade. I tell you what, guys, I can't say I actually love the way a chisel grind looks when the blade is closed as well, but there's no denying the fact that a chisel grind is just a slicing beast. This knife goes through just about anything like a hot knife through butter, within reason, of course, but I love this grind. It comes down to a crazy thin edge, cuts through anything without any problem, and the fit and finish on this guy is just fantastic. This carbon fiber inlay is gorgeous. I love how they bronze the pivot on the Wii pivot. It just looks so good. The pocket clip is really nothing special, but it works great. It has a rather basic look, in and out of the pocket just fine, and overall just a very sleek design. I like that a lot with this knife, and even when you close it, the lines, everything just flows. This is a beautifully designed knife by Justin Lundquist. This is, in my opinion, one of his best pieces of work. Just a huge fan of this, the Black Void Opus. It's also going to be in the pocket this week. And now we're going to close out with two super premium models. And this one is one that I haven't carried since my wedding day. And that is the Spyderco Swish buoy. And damn, Every time. This knife is kind of hard to describe because it had such a high demand. It wasn't available for so long. Knife Joy brought back this exclusive right before my wedding, and I was like, you know what? That's it. That's the perfect wedding knife. So I hopped on and I got it, and this blade is just seriously one of my favorite blades in the entire collection in terms of just cutting power, sliciness. Not the thinnest edge in the world. I want to say, I don't even, to be honest, I'd have to get my calipers out. I don't remember what it comes in at. But you could put this knife up with any other blade I have in my collection, or if ever even had in my hand, and it's going to slice probably just as well as any of them. It is just an excellent blade with a nice thick stock, a nice good hard-working tip that is chamfered, or that crown spine, kind of like what you see in a lot of Italian manufacturing. It's just gorgeously elegant. The handle is smooth, provides a good grip, no hot spots. I've never done a full review of this knife. I probably won't at this point. Kind of consider this it. But it's just, there's really nothing okay, I take that back. There's two things I would change. I still want to see an over travel stop and a lock bar insert. I just do. You see it on everything else. It's kind of a luxury. It's not something that's probably ever going to make this knife fail, but I just want to see it because it's an expensive knife. It was like $400 or $450. I was at $400, I believe. So you know what? It should have it. For that price, I feel like it should have it. But other than that, it's still not the end of the world because, like I said, I don't think that'll ever be the downfall of this knife, is, you know, the titanium lock bar here wearing down and going over to the other side. I don't think that's ever going to happen. So no real concern there. I wish it was different. Pocket clip is very nice. The Spyderco wire clip. Sometimes these can be a little iffy for me, but I really like this one. I think it's because of how big the handle is. It just fits really well in my hand. I get no hot spot, no agitation whatsoever from the clip. And it looks good, that kind of that darker, or not necessarily darker, but like sandblasted gray on the blue anodized scale. Very, very nice. And overall, just such a solid knife. Bank vault lockup. Of course, there's no blade play. I don't even need to point that out, but sometimes I just randomly say it. And action that is fantastic. Even just the regular thumb roll on this guy is so satisfying, so easy to thumb roll that out. And then of course you can thumb flick it out, and this knife is actually very easy to Spidey flick, even though I screwed up the first time. But it really is. You don't even need to get, like, you can just get a little fat of your middle finger in there and flip it out. But regardless, it just works. It works very well, and it's a knife that I really do enjoy carrying. And it's one that is, if I had to pick one Spyderco to contend with something like a Sebenza, this is it. This really is it. It's just a super smooth operating, very, very attractive looking knife that is just a great size, and everything about it is just really darn good. Definitely one that I will never be selling, obviously just for sentimental reasons, but even if I didn't carry this on my wedding, this is one that they would never be leaving the collection because I enjoy it way, way too much. The Spyderco Swish Buoy. And there is going to be more runs of these coming. They just take time, so keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes on Knife Center, or Knife Joy. Knife Joy is the one that brought this back. I know they're going to be doing more, and I don't know if any other retailers will be, but I know Knife Joy was the one to look up for this. And now last up, I've got one of my favorite knives of all time and favorite knives of this year. It was newer this year, but with an upgrade, and that is the VBR from Varga Knives, and with some jungle wear fat carbon fiber. And I gotta say, I didn't think I could love this knife any more than I already did. And then I got these scales, and yeah, I do. I just do. For 40 bucks for these scales, there's probably not a better deal for any aftermarket scales anywhere in the world for 40 bucks for fat carbon. You're not going to beat that, guys. You are not going to beat it. Obviously, the quality of the carbon fiber is fantastic. There's no blemishes, very smooth. You get that great kind of reflection when the light hits the carbon fiber. It looks great. And on the other side, it's just as good. No blemishes. It's just gorgeous. And what's really impressive about this is how smooth the transition line is. Sometimes with aftermarket scales, you'll get a little imperfections here or there because you just do for some reason. I don't know why, but not on this one. It is super smooth. This knife, it feels like it came with these scales. I mean, they're perfect in terms of lining up with the handle and no fitting issues. They're flawless. I really couldn't be happier with these. And what Mark Varga is doing at Varga Knives is something I hope the knife community is paying attention to, because this is one of the best knives you can get. Ergos are nothing short of really damn near perfect. Perfect thickness, smooth, razor sharp edge, excellent React compound grind. I love this grind because it has a little bit of a thicker tip with that nice super thin slicey belly area and no tanto point, so it's easier to sharpen. Just an excellent blade. It really is. No complaints about this knife whatsoever, actually. Action is so smooth. Deployment is fantastic. Closing, it's just effortless. Just no complaints with this knife. I really do love this knife. Easily one of my best acquisitions this year, and one that's going to be staying around forever. It's just an excellent one. That's the Varga Knives VBR, produced by Riat. So there we go, guys. There's my carry for the week. We'll get them back up here and get a little review of everything. And let me know, what do you guys got in the pocket this week? What do you got going on? I'm ready for some fall colors and weather. We have it here. It's just raining all day today. Hoping I can get a few more good days to go out and ride my bike. My bicycle, not a motorcycle, bicycle. But regardless, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you have a great week. And until the next one, I'm out.